Hi, so now this is the topic about creating a local repository from your DVD. Now, what is a repository? A repository is something where all your packages are stored, and then you could download and install the package that you wish to. Now, you do need an internet access to go out of the outside repository and download and install the RPM. But what if you do not have internet access? That's what exactly the local repository comes in. So you have a Linux machine, right? Whether it's a virtual or physical machine, doesn't really matter. It goes out to the internet and then it goes out to a server, which is also most likely a Red Hat server or CentOS server, which has a repositories. Now, some companies do have those repositories local to their environment, which is called the product that holds the repository is called satellite server. So that is the repository which holds all your repos or RPM packages. So you could bring them back in solid downloads. Now, what happens if you do not have access to the outside world, or if you do not have a Red Hat satellite server in your environment? Then how are you going to install new programs? Well, in that case, you create a local repository within your server. So this is what we're going to learn in this lesson on creating a local repository. Now, just remember, if you do have an internet access to your VM or your machine, you don't have to worry about this lesson. Or if you just want to learn for educational purposes how to create a local repository, then please go through this video. So the command to create, or we will learn in this lesson, it's create repo. That's just one simple command. So how does it work? So let's get into our Linux machine. My virtual machine is powered off. Now I want you to go ahead and create a snapshot. What snapshot does, it just takes a snapshot in case we need to revert back, or if something goes wrong, we could always go back to that snapshot. So click right here, see the snapshot, and click on take, and it by default gives the name snapshot1, but you could give the date or anything that you like that will make you remember. I like to pick date, or sometimes if I'm creating multiple snapshots. So now it has created a snapshot. So in case I mess up during this creating local repository and I need to revert back to my original state, which is right now, then I could always come back to it. So now let's go ahead and power on. Okay, so our machine has been started. So let's go ahead and become root. Okay, so now you are creating a local repository. So what you're going to do is you're going to take all the RPM, all the packages from your DVD or CD-ROM drive, which is a disk which has all your packages. So what you do is you go into these menu devices, optical drives, choose disk, and pick CentOS ISO image. So I have it saved on my desktop, so just choose it and click open. So now this should automatically mount your DVD to your Linux machine. See, right away a pop-up menu came up, and also if you notice, it will also create an icon on your desktop saying this is the disk that has been attached. So now we have it attached. How can we verify it? On the command line, you do df-h, and you will see right here the last row tells you that it is at dev sr0, and it is mounted on run media ifsol CentOS 7. So now if it is not mounted automatically, then you could run a command mount /dev cd-rom and wherever you want it to be mounted. Anyway, since it's already mounted for us, now the next step is, where are you going to put all your packages? So you have to create a directory, right? So the directory I'm gonna pick is, let's go to /cd/ and under / make a directory. Let's call it local repo. It's just the name. You could pick anything. You could pick Seinfeld, George, Kramer, whatever that you like. So go ahead and hit enter. Do ls -ltr to verify it is there. Yes, the directory is there. Now I want you to copy all the content. So do df -h. So copy all the content of the disk. So do cd/run/media/ifsol. Now if you notice, the name of this ISO image is CentOS space 7 space sh86. Now Linux does not like spaces, so how are we going to put that in my path? So if I just put in CentOS space 7 x86 underscore 64, see, it says no such file or directory. Then how can I make Linux understand that there are spaces? To do that, the best thing that I would tell you to do is do cd run media ifsol, and when you are at this point on the fourth directory subdirectory, then hit tab, and it will automatically pick the ISO image under the ifsol directory. So if you notice, it has \\\, which is telling Linux that there are spaces in it. So go ahead and hit enter. So now you are in that directory. Do ls -ltr and see what's inside of it. You see there are a few directories and files. cd into packages, that's where all the RPMs are. You could do ls -ltr and you will see a bunch of RPMs in there. Okay, so if I wanted to see how many RPMs do I have, I could do ls -ltr pipe it wc-l, and it's telling me there are 3,973 packages or RPMs that are coming within that DVD ISO image. Well, that's a lot. So it is kind of like a repository. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna copy all of these packages to our local drive, local folder that we just created, and the folder name is local repo, right? So now before you do that, also make sure that you have enough space in your Linux machine. So how do you find out? First, you are in that directory, right? Packages, run the command du -sh and dot, which asking the Linux machine, give me this disk space of the current location of the directory that I'm in. Hit enter. It's saying 3.7 gig. Now do df -h and make sure your slash directory has that space empty. Yes, we do have 4.4 available, so it's good. So now we could go ahead with the copying every package that we have in this location. The command I would use to copy is copy everything from this directory dot, or you could specify the full path, run media ifsol CentOS packages. So you could do everything asterisk, because you're copying everything under packages to your local repo. Hit enter. Now it is going to copy every single RPM to the local repo directory. This is going to take some time. If you open up another window and then you go to cd to local repo and do ls -l, pipe it to wc-l, you will see the number of files being copied. So right now we have 1480 files that have been copied. We have to go up to 39 and something files to be copied. Okay, all the RPMs have been copied successfully. Very good. So we have to tell Linux, don't go outside. We do have all the packages locally. So how do we define that? So there are files in etc yum .repos.d. These are all the files that tells the Linux to go to these different mirrors. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove everything in here. Now again, before you remove that, please make sure you do have a snapshot. If you delete all of these packages and you do not have the snapshot, then you won't be able to go to internet and download the packages through yum commands. Okay, everything is gone. Now go ahead and create a new repo here. Call it local.repo and add these values. CentOS 7, it's just telling it these are repository for CentOS 7. Name CentOS 7 base URL. This is what matters. So file / local repo. This is the directory that we created in slash. It was always start with 2 slashes, then the third slash with local repo directory. Enabled and 1 to if you want to make it enabled. GPG check 0. These are some of the default values you have to put in to that file. Go ahead and save it. Once that is saved, now we'll run the command create repo. And where is my repo? Local repo. You hit enter. Now it's actually what it's doing is it's actually going to that local repo directory and it's saying, hey, I have 3,971 packages. I'm gonna make them available to my local machine as a repository. The create repo had created the database that will be available to our yum command. Now go ahead and create yum clean, run this command yum clean all. This is going to clear out any cache from the old repository. Go ahead and run yum repo list all. Now this should tell me my full list of repositories. There you go. So we have a repo list that has a total package of 3,971. These are the exact same number of RPMs we had, remember? And it telling you the size, the repo ID, the CentOS is the name that we picked in that rpm.d directory file. Now you could test it by running the command yum install. Now what do we want to install? Just for test, type Tomcat. It's gonna go into that repository and check if it has a packages that matches Tomcat. Okay, perfect. It did find that package, and this is basically how you create a local repository. Now the system is not going out on the internet or to your Red Hat satellite. It is actually going to your local repository, which is sitting within your Linux machine. So if you are following this, then go ahead and delete the local repo directory that we created and revert back to our snapshot.